there! I'm Emily, and this is Three Girls One RuneScape. What is up? I'm just gonna be making some overloads while I talk, I guess, because I don't really know what else to do in the video. I'm kind of like mumbling, but hello! I am sorry that we have been slacking on the videos recently, but I've been busy with like college and streaming and stuff like that. So I really apologize, and this week's topic is going to be about past animals that you've had. So I'm going to start with the first animal I can remember was a wiener dog named Sparkles. Or no, it was Frankie. My wiener dog named Frankie. It's kind of a funny name now that I think about it. A wiener dog named Frankie. Anyways, so my mom loved wiener dogs, so we got a wiener dog named Frankie. And he used to bite at all of us, and at the time I used to be super young. And so we had to end up getting rid of him. And then we got a different wiener dog named Sparkles. And we had Sparkles a really long time. And so I'll tell you a few stories about her. So one day, I was sitting, like, we had this ledge in our basement with, we could see like the windows and stuff. And me and one of my friends were sitting up on the little ledge thing, which we aren't supposed to do, but we were sitting up there. And where I used to live, it was like super windy. And you know, wiener dogs are like super, like, small dog, so it's like super windy outside, and I think my dad put her outside, and all of a sudden we look out the window and we just see the dog flying by the window, and we're like, oh my god! So we run outside looking for the dog. We couldn't find her anywhere, and so then we went and we told my dad that we saw her flying by the window. You guys would probably think this video is so stupid, but we saw her flying by the window, and we looked all over, couldn't find her anywhere. And so finally, we looked underneath our deck, which we had like a on the ground deck, I guess you'd say. And she was underneath the deck, and she was like scared shitless. But we ended up having to move, and we had to get rid of her because we moved from that house. So we had her for maybe like a year or so. And I know what most of you are thinking. I used to run Herbler thing. Most of you are thinking, you're like, oh, well, Emily, aren't you a cat person? And this is where the first cat story comes in. One Christmas, we walked downstairs and there was this cat. And it wasn't for like the whole family, it was more a present for my older sister Natasha. And it was a cat, and it had like a bunch of stripes on it, so she named it Stripes. And that was the first cat. I really don't have any memories of it because that's like the only one I remember about it. And yeah, so we had Stripes for a while, and while we had Stripes, we got another little cat, a little white cat named Angel. No, we named her fuck. I'm messing this story up. We named her Snowflake because she was white. These names are awesome. But yeah, so we named her Snowflake, and the story with her is Liz, if you don't know her. She was supposed to make a video on this channel, but she hasn't yet. But basically, she took like makeup and drew all over Snowflake. And like Lizzie was like a little like destruction child, like she used to like write on walls and shit, but that's a different story. And so one day, she locked the cat Stripes and Snowflake in the bathroom all day, so they were trapped in like this bathroom, and like nobody could find them. And we lose our animals a lot, that's kind of sad. And so we had them, and then we had to move again. I moved a lot as a child, and so we moved again, and so we had to get rid of them again. And oh my, I have a lot of pets. This is gonna take forever. I'll try to keep it short. But yeah, so we moved again, and we moved into, I'm terrible at this. I should just work at one plant at a time. But we moved into like a different house, and now at this time my parents are like, oh, no animals, no animals. We're not gonna have any animals because we just built a brand new house. And one day we came home from, because we lived like not really like in the country, you would say, but we lived like out of like town, which was like far away from like any like location or anything. So we lived out there, and we like didn't have any animals for like the longest time. And one day our dad picked us up from my grandma's house because that's where we used to stay because my parents worked a lot. And my dad was taking us home, and all of a sudden we opened the garage, and this beagle runs out, and we're like, oh my god, how the hell did this dog get in here? And we're like, oh, maybe it's a lost dog. And then my mom comes out, she's like, look, I bought a dog! And we're like, oh my god. Because, I don't know, like, we weren't expecting it at all. And like the story with him is we bought him when he was 1 year old, and he was an abused dog who was like starved and beat and stuff like that. So my mom adopted him, and so like he was a very like finicky dog, and we had him for 10 years, and his name was Snoopy. He was a beagle, and we spoiled the fuck out of him. He was huge because we'd give him like most people probably frown against this, but we would always give him like our leftover food, and like he became so like big, and his little stumpy legs as he walked everywhere. And my parents ended up like we had Snoopy for the longest time. My parents ended up splitting, and while they were apart, I guess I'd say, my mom took Snoopy, and my dad got a new cat, which all of you know, Gabby. Ooh, this is where Gabby comes in. And so we got Gabby, and my parents ended up getting back together. I guess they were only like on a break. And then, so we had Gabby and Snoopy, and I'm like, well, I want a dog of my own, because apparently all these animals that like we got were always for Natasha, and I'm like, that's not fair, I want my own. And so then I went and bought Lucky, which most of you may or may not know. Lucky's the little Asian cat. And I had Lucky for a long time, but she became like more attached to Lizzie, and my older sister Natasha had moved out at this point, and Gabby had become more attached to me, so that's why we are like switched, and Gabby's more my cat and Lucky's more Lizzie's cat, you'd say. Lizzie's gonna have trouble with this video. Then again, she's gonna have different memories and stuff. But yeah, so we had Gabby and Lucky and then Snoopy. And then my parents ended up getting divorced for good. And my dad at this time my dad took Snoopy and got rid of him. And if you think about it, Snoopy was like 12 years old at the time, and like so he got rid of our 12-year-old dog because I don't know. Like he took him when we were at school and stuff. It was a dick move, but so we got rid of Snoopy. I haven't seen him since, and I think he's still alive though. I've seen him, or my family member saw him like on a walk or something, because he got adopted again, which is good. So someone adopted that fat. He's so cute. But anyway, so now we have Gabby and Lucky, and my mom moved to North Dakota, as many of you probably know. I've been saying that a lot in this video. But my mom moved to North Dakota, and I moved up there with her, and I had a job up there. And at this point we had no animals, and my brother moved in, and he had a cat named Moffles. Now Moffles was like a Siamese cat, so he's a freaking genius, and like this video is so long. It's a video of me rambling about all my animals, and you're not even watching this far. You should comment below if you've actually watched this far. But we had like all the combination of animals, and so like Moffles came in, and then I saved up my money week by week because I was paying rent for the place that I lived in, and so I saved up enough money to buy another beagle. And if you didn't know, this beagle is my favorite dog breed. So I saved up all my money for a beagle, and her name was Lulu. And the reason behind that name is my family calls me Emalu, and my mom calls me Lulu. That's embarrassing, but she calls me like Emalu and Lulu and stuff. So I named my dog Lulu, and Gabby's snoring. But so I had Lulu, and I loved her to death. Like she was like my baby and stuff. And I ended up going on vacation, so I asked my brother to watch my dog, and he said sure, why not. And you think that if a family member watched your dog, you just give them something for like doing it, and there was no set price or anything, and they'd be appreciative, you know. And I was very thankful that he watched my dog and stuff. And my brother at the time was dating this girl who was a complete bitch. And I'm sorry for the language, but she's a bitch. And I came back, and the next day there was like a bill, I guess you'd say, on my dresser, on my dresser, and it was like for $500. And I told my mom about it. I'm like, I'm not gonna pay $500 to watch my dog for a week. And my mom stuck by my brother and his girlfriend's side, and so I'd pay them every week, and I was like working my ass off and shit, and just to pay them back. And it got to the point when I had paid them $300 already, and I'm like, fuck this, I'm not paying you anymore. I shouldn't have to pay you for watching my dog for a week. And so she still came at me, asking me for the money and stuff like that. And so I went and I talked to my mom about it, and she still took their side. Like, my mom fucked me over twice, her own daughter, for some random, well, she wasn't random, but my brother's girlfriend. And so then I'm like, okay, whatever, fuck it, take my dog. And dogs, it was a purebred beagle, and many of you may or may not know. I keep saying that in this video, but like, they're really expensive dogs, and so she took my dog, she sold my dog, and then I moved away, moved back with my dad, and like, I get a message on Facebook, and she's like, so are you ever gonna pay me that $200? And so I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? And so this is when I blew up at the bitch, and I sent her a bunch of stuff, but that's not what we're talking about today. That's just memory. So I had Lulu, and that's like the most recent animals that I've had. And I'm sorry for the long video, and I'm sorry for the rambling and stuff. But that is it for this video. So if you want to subscribe, go ahead. If you like these videos, then thumbs it up. If you have a topic, just put it in the comment section below, and that is it. So bye guys, I love you.